Also do this, just to make sure things are good. Need to hear myself before I record myself. There we go. Cool. All right, that's what I need to hear. That there's audio. Now let's get up here. Slide your ass in. Oh. Motherfucker, come on. Fuck. Wait, what? Yeah, I just realized I was muted. What the hell? How'd that happen? How did that happen? But we're not now. But hey, if I'm gonna be called a hillbilly, at least I'm a PNW Cascadian, lefty hillbilly. Not one of those honky tonk southern ones that have the Habsburg jaw. Here's OT so good. It is. Here's OT's good. From Alabama? Fuck no. I got family out in Texas, but I sure shit not in Alabama. Why smoke weed? Because I'm in a recreational state. And it's easily accessible. And I like it. Why don't you not? Hmm? Hmm? That should be the question you ask yourself. Why aren't you? Some Cowboy Kid Rock. I don't even like Kid Rock. No. Like a Meme Slam. My boy's in a slam band. He lives out there. I haven't heard of Meme Slam. I do like some slam every now and then, I will admit. I like some slam metal and shit like that, you know. Arizona's are no longer 99 cents. Depending on where you go. I know this isn't like across the US. This is just for us Americans out here. You know, it's like we have a place called Winco. It's a grocery store. They sell them cheaper than 99 cents. They sell them for like 88. So depending on where you go, you can find them still at least 99 cents. And depending on the Winco, probably 88. What are your opinions on Penguin Z0, aka Critical? I like Moist Critical. Actually, I was like one of his followers way back in the early days. Way back in the day. My first video, I still remember to this day, is top 5 Fallout New Vegas rare weapons of all time. So, I mean, and ever since then, I was sold on them. So, been watching him for a long fucking time. Penguin Z0's on Morob. At least spell moron right, if you're going to call him a moron. That's a bargain. Yeah. That's why I like Winco, because like dead ass, a lot of stuff that you normally can get at any other typical grocery store is definitely cheaper. So, Winco's the GOAT. Fallout 4 was good. I mean, yeah. In comparison to the other Fallouts, it was kind of lackluster. It ended up getting what I guess it should deserve later, especially for like the mod community and stuff like that. But I know for a fact, like especially in its early days, I'd say it's good now, but it doesn't really hit the same like New Vegas or Fallout 3. Especially New Vegas, like that was just like, I don't know. Definitely one of those things where it's like, despite not necessarily being like a one of a kind of a Fallout, it definitely was unique in a sense of just storytelling, settings, you know, upgrading certain, you know, shit like that, you know, when it comes to, like certain mechanics, like aim down sights, stuff like that. So, you know, where Fallout 3 kind of lacked and was a little sluggish, Fallout New Vegas kind of helped smooth out and actually make more fluid in all that shit. Like, and maybe I'm biased because my first Fallout was with New Vegas. Did you like the show? That was cool. The Fallout show? Actually, I've not seen it yet. So I've seen clips, and I'll admit, like, the nuke scenes, I'm kind of like, eh. But beyond that, I can tell that I like the show from the clips I've seen, or at least I would like it. Though, when it comes to the nuke scenes, they literally look like just Moabs going off. You know, it's like, those aren't nukes. I get it, it's for show, and it's just a nitpick at that point. Can't really bitch about it too hard. But it's just like, if that little girl with her little thumb out being like, is that close? It's like, you would be blind, girl. You straight would be blind. And probably like, your skin burnt and shit. It's like, come on. A little... This guy from Oregon. Sup, fool? Sup? What's up, bandeja? Kind of look like Macaulay Culkin. That's the first time I've ever been compared to him. Though, you know, I can kind of see it now. How he is now. Like, doesn't he have, like, long hair nowadays? Last time I saw him, like in an interview, like he was like a couple years out of recovery or some shit, and still has short hair. But I think he has long hair now, doesn't he? Yeah, let me double check. Macaulay Culkin. Shit. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's the most recent picture, but he's got short hair. I thought I saw a picture of him with long hair. Oh shit. So apparently, I guess he grew his hair out for a role, for a movie role. Because I can actually kind of see it a little bit. I mean, I will admit, he kind of looks a little crazy-eyed in this scene of whatever movie he was in. But I can kind of see it a little bit. The thing is, like, I used to have the long hair even on the sides, but my shit's shaded off to the sides, so... Who's Christ? Christopher? Christine? Oh, we got a Bible thumper in here? Christ loves you, man. Dude, yo, Christians, y'all realize that Jesus Christ wouldn't necessarily like what y'all doing? Like, look, I'm an atheist, but I have read the Sermon on the Mount. I know of Christ's teachings. I grew up Christian. And can I just be front with y'all? He's not going to like this shit. I especially know he would not like this whole Christ is King thing that some of y'all like to do too. He was against kings and monarchy in the establishment. Like, why would he want to see himself as a king? He never saw himself as that. That's a newer phenomenon. I'm just saying, it's like, if you're going to say Christ is King, Jesus loves you and shit, you should probably reread your Bible. Especially when it comes to, the words of Christ himself specifically. I have a bone to pick with the Lord. Hard to pick a bone with them if they're not a thing, right? People, create it and make it a thing. But the thing is, ultimately, that's just their excuse usually to try to push their philosophy and their ideas and what they consider is fine, or good, basically. And the idea is like, whatever it is, it varies from Christian to Christian. Like, you get 10 Christians in the room and their idea of what is true to God is going to be different from all of them. They might have a general idea for the most part between all of them, but they're going to nitpick and start being like, Christ want to, advocate blah, blah, blah. No, he would love everyone. How dare you think that he would exclude blah, blah, blah. They're going to do that. So ultimately it's like, you're going to get some different shit every fucking time. And then ultimately, that's kind of what I see Christianity as. It's just like a foundation to just justify people's ultimately just kind of shitty beliefs. Use it as a justification. At least here in the United States, there's a lot of Christian white nationalists and extremists that, might not be violent or physical when it comes to their actions, but are straight up, at least, are willing to basically throw a conniption fucking fit if you challenge them or they don't get their way. Happens all the fucking time. I deal with it a lot, honestly, especially here in Portland, because every now and then these stupid chuck fucks come out here, like at least when it comes to the ICE protests out of here in Portland, and they fucking just spew their stupid shit. I noticed that there's far less of them these days in comparison in the past, probably for multiple reasons. But I know a lot of it's probably having to, relate to some Schleppstein file situations. Is a king metaphorical like King of Kings type deal? I think she says no problem. You tell me you're loved. Okay, you're obviously kind of I will admit I see what you're saying, but that's still nitpicking. You're still nitpicking now. Like, because if he's supposedly the King of Kings, that still makes him, some sort of a sense, metaphorically or otherwise, a king. And I still think Jesus wouldn't necessarily be fond of that. He's not a king of all people and shit. He's, the one who's a martyr and a savior, of all people and of mankind. He's not a king of all kings and of mankind. He's a savior of them. Like, that's kind of the whole point of his shtick. Like, he's a savior, not a king. And like I said, especially with his principles and his philosophy was pretty much based on the inherent belief of, say, fuck the monarchy, fuck the kings, and, fuck those that want to, collect the coin for the name of the church. Pretty much, I was going to say, well, I suppose at least you're not your typical Bible thumper, I'll grant you that. We got a lot of them that come in here just kind of repeat themselves like bots and don't really actually, like, go back and forth with it. So at least, I'll grant you that. Jesus thinks I'm okay at best. Hey, I'm sure you probably think I'm okay at best. Even though I'm an atheist and don't completely accept him as, like, Christian-wise, I think he'd still appreciate, my broader values, and shit. I mean, arguably, he was kind of like a proto, like, mutual aid, like, socialist leaning kind of guy, like, well before those concepts weren't even a thing. Like, I mean, he was kind of, if you really look at a lot of his philosophy, like, and a lot of what he did and his beliefs, they kind of do lean towards those ideas. Jesus bots, like, well, Bible thumpers that come here basically just kind of repeating Jesus is king, you need to redeem yourself, yada yada yada, without actually talking with what you're refuting and stuff. Like, they don't actually, like, acknowledge what you're saying. They're just refuting with same shit, basically. Good enough for heaven, ever lied or stolen before, ever lusted or hated one before. Most human beings have done that. I've lied before, and I'll admit I've jacked a few things before, even unintentionally. I'll look in my pocket, sometimes after work, I'd be like, oh, I forgot to buy this fucking onion powder or some shit. I've even unintentionally done it. And lusted, yeah. And hated, yeah. I think any human being has, felt these feelings before. It's just, what do you do about it? Or how are you acting on those feelings? I don't think, having feelings of, like, lust, or hatred or whatever inherently makes you like some sinner. What you do about it may or may not. Because there's plenty of people I could think of that I can, like, hate, but ultimately, am I going to do something about it, or outside maybe bitching about them because they're a piece of shit or whatever? No. Because ultimately, it's just not worth the energy. Because I could think of, different people, even in my own personal life, that I'm like, yeah, I kind of hate this person, fuck them. But ultimately, as long as they don't fuck with me and bother me and just do their shit, I don't give a fuck. I'm doing my thing. That's it. I go out of my way to try to not think about it because I don't care. Whenever it gets brought up, I'll be like, well, fuck them, but ultimately, I don't put thought to it. Broke God's laws and Jesus Christ paid for our... Well, that's kind of the whole point of Christ, right? Like, it's, humans ultimately are sinners, and at least especially with the philosophy of Christianity, we're inherently are sinners. Like, we're always going to do something that inherently is going to be a sin. But that's why Christ, was sacrificing himself to, even well after the fact of his sacrifice, is forgiving the sins of humanity. Like, like I said, like, at least everything else aside, when it comes to his life and his teachings, that's ultimately kind of one of the main reasons why he was around, is for that, ultimately. It's just, so it's like, if that's the case, then maybe it's all right to have some sins here and there, but it's what you're gonna ultimately, like, what you do with it, right? Like, is it just, hey, I'm like, a little bit of a deviant, I like my kinks, and my sexual kinks, and I just act on that sometimes? Or is it like, yeah, I'm a thief and I love stealing shit? Like, what is it? If it's just like, some benign bullshit, then ultimately I don't even think God's gonna give that much of a shit. Maybe Old Testament God, but these days, as long as, like, you're actually, like, doing good and maybe, like, rectifying those sins in other means, even if you aren't doing it overtly, whatever the fuck, do you think it's gonna matter that much? And ultimately, I mean, do you think, God would care if people even ultimately believe in them if the whole idea is that his son sacrificed, himself for all of our sins of humanity from, past, present, and future? So if that's the case, then depending on how much of sinners we are, or how much we accept or reject God, at least especially those who advocate for his name, I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't really feel as critical about people about that. Because you have to imagine, like, there's 4,000 different fucking religions out there. And if that's the case, then people obviously have different belief systems. And let's say, Christianity is the true belief. Just hypothetically, I don't think it is, but whatever. I mean, you think that, like I said, that same God's gonna at least look at these other belief systems and say, well, fuck them anyway, because somehow they're just detached from this whole premise? No. Being, having your son come down and be a savior of mankind in their sins includes them too. It's like, even if they have different beliefs. So, I mean, and depending on how they live their lives, I'm sure God will look at them and be like, hey, you're cool. Hey, you're dead, but hey, you see me now? You know what the gates of heaven look like now? Hey, it's like, you've done good. Come on in, It's like, just because of just how they live their life. Can't have you swearing with God present. I don't think God cares that much about swearing. Like, what was a swear word back in the time of Christ? I mean, technically, Jesus Christ can be a swear word in cussing, depending on how you use it. I mean, well, cussing in his name, I suppose, if you want to put it that way. But either way, it's just like, I don't really think it matters that much. I'm pretty sure God doesn't really care too much for hyper prudishness. Are you balding? No. I have a big forehead, though. And a widow's speak, but nope. If anything, I got, like, hairs because I do this all the time that are, like, wanting to grow back that are, like, flimsy and weird here in the very front. So. Damn, Vito, you just made it louder. I thought that's just how loud it was. He was nesting on that little speaker like an egg. Oh, Vito, come on. Don't be doing that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Nice Asian map. It's not just a map of Asia. Here. This whole world. See? Never trust a man that doesn't wear or has a weak chin. And I guess I don't necessarily disagree with that. Are you from Chicago? If so, we got beef. Nope. I visited Chicago. That's where I got the hat. I went to go see System of a Down and Avenged Sevenfold when I was in Chicago. So I visited there for a little bit. What kind of dog do you have? German Shepherd Border Collie mix. My dog isn't here with them, but these are their older siblings. This Vito over here being the crazy boy. And this is Jazzy Chin right over here being a sweetie. Licking off my sweat and grease from the concert that I went to earlier. What's up, Jazzy? Hold on. Look at this chunk. Look at this little swaddle chunk. Oh, well, now Vito's in the way. Hi, Vito. Hey, buddy. Ah! Okay, they really are like all up my grill. I think I know what you want. How about this, homie? Once I'm done with this ain't gonna be that long, bro. Like, he wants I can't even say the phrase. I used to do we always love kayaking as a phrase, but he kind of acknowledges it now. So it's like, take the first letters of every word. We always love kayaking. Take every letter, the first letter of every word, and you'll see what I mean. He wants that. I can't say it by letter because he knows that for sure. I sure as shit ain't gonna say the word. So, what's strain smoking? This one in particular is called Pop Tart. I got two of them over here. Actually, what's the other one? Because I haven't used that one yet. I want to try. London Trophy. I thought it was a lemon trophy, but wait, Christian, nope. If God is a good guy, can he let guilty sinners go free without justice? Well, I mean, ultimately, I'm not like Christian or believe in God, so I don't know. If there is one for me personally, I would hope so. Be like, hey, it's okay to have a little bit of a punishment. Be like, hey, gotta be purgatory for a time or some shit. But hey, did due diligence. Like you have to like come back, but and reincarnate, but you're like a fucking slug or some shit. You get like your death is like getting salt poured on you in the garden, and just like get like from salt and get salted or some shit. Short and shitty, but hey, all things considered, it wouldn't be that long. It would just be kind of lame as fuck. But hey, after that, do you like scary movies? Fuck yeah, I do. Horror movies are awesome. The last one I saw was Bone Tomahawk. And dude, fucking awesome movie. Your neck is thick as its head. What? Highway to Nothing? I'm pretty sure my head is like a few inches wide. Like you literally see like my chin go further than. Okay, whatever. Here's Sonnenberg. Yeah, I know. My friend's contracted to lease literally says to not fuck with it. Like, I knew this was gonna come up eventually. All right, quick rundown on the contract on a lease. With that stupid fucking thing. Can't tamper or fuck with it. Can't replace the battery on it because there's literally a sticker that you get fined on with fucking with it. When it comes to like trying to replace the fucking battery on it, and you have to get the property manager to do it, and they're lazy as shit, and it's been going on for a long time, and they don't do it because they're lazy as fucking lame. There, TLDR version. Extra TLDR version, it's literally on the lease, not to fuck with it. Literally, if it was any other circumstances, that shit would have been solved a long time ago. Trust me. It's a 9-volt. I'm very well aware, dog. Like I said, I don't want my friend getting a fucking fine because I'm like, fuck it, and tamper with the damn thing. I mean, it's just like, and besides, from what I understand, my friend's gonna be moving soon anyway. So why, in his mind, it's like, who gives a fuck anymore? If he was staying here any longer, or at least for like another year or so, then he probably would pressure about it. But he's moving soon, so he doesn't care. And frankly, I don't blame him. I mean, if I was moving soon, I wouldn't really be giving a fuck as much either. And also, there's another goddamn fucking fire alarm over here. Here, let me zoom in on that bitch. That one right there. See that one? That one don't even work. That one's basically there for fucking aesthetics. I'm not even joking. That one doesn't even work. And they haven't even bothered to deal with that. At this point, it's like there's liability to sue because of negligence when it comes to maintaining shit that is by law needing to be fixed, especially that one. Responsible replacement battery. It's not, when it comes to at least here specifically, that's not how the rules are when it comes to the contract. I want because your job. Well, it should be. I don't even inherently disagree with you, Doc, but because I thought it was. I thought, whenever I heard it on other people's shit, I thought it was just they were lazy. I found out because of my friend's lease in his contract, and I looked it up. That is something that some landlords and property managers do put as like some dumb bullshit rule, in their contracts and shit. And I'm like, so that's partly why like some people probably have that shit because the property managers and landlords are just lazy shits that don't want to fucking deal with it. It's like, bruh, it's fucked and it's ridiculous. Identifying inspections in buildings anytime recently, no. It's not my building either, but I don't know when. Probably sometime earlier at the beginning of the year, probably. State you in Oregon. Ultimately, I don't know if that necessarily makes that much of a difference, but either way, it's still annoying and shitty. And I know that other people all over the country have to deal with this stupid bullshit, apparently, which sucks, but hey, what are you going to do? Bible site. Yeah, coach. Someone's still trying to do some of that. Still Bible thumping in here. How many fibs or white lies or exaggerations have you told before in your whole entire life? Especially growing up as a kid, probably countless. These days, I over to like stupid dumb shit where I'm like, oh, I need to do that. I did it, wink. Like an hour or two later, I actually did do it. You know, like maybe that once in a blue moon stuff, but one time I was in a realized my boyfriend gone. I was on his ass. Well, that's good at least. And fuck anyone that wants to be a snitch and, you know, call the Gestapo on a motherfucker. So my way's definitely better than yours. Where are you from? Cali? Washington? Because unless you're on the West Coast, that is some massive bullshit. I'll put you on the spot, John. Unless you're in Cali or Washington, I'm calling bullshit right the fuck now. Because anything on the West Coast is going to be better than any recreational weed in this fucking country. Sorry. It's Cali, Oregon, and Washington. Like, not in necessarily in particular besides Cali, because they're kind of the OGs of that shit. But especially when it comes to the Green Triangle, which Oregon's in, which most of the weed in Oregon comes from there, in that Green Triangle. I mean, I don't know, bro. I'm immediately calling bullshit on that right the fuck now. Unless you're in Cali, don't sleep on Maine. I haven't tried their weed, but I'm sorry, we probably are better. The only weed I've ever had that was remotely comparable, I will say this, was Chicago. The problem is their dispensaries are ass. Dude, the worst dispensary experience in my fucking life. Dead ass. It was bunk. They don't even show you the weed. I mean, it was ridiculous. I'm like, yo, Illinois, because I know that's just how they do it in Illinois as a state, from my understanding. It's not really just Chicago, it's just the state. But yo, Illinois, can you like amend your law so, you know, you can like see your shit? Because when I'm in, you know, dispensary, I can literally, they will literally like pull this up for you. They have like a little, you know, fucking magnifier to where you can like look at the crystals and stuff. They'll literally let you open it up so you can smell it. You can actually inspect your weed before you get it, so you're getting good shit. Not in Illinois though, not in Chicago. It's like, I want to see my shit. I want to see what I'm getting. I just have to assume that, you know, there's good chronic and you're picking it, you know, out of that whole stash of that particular weed I'm getting. Just hope for the best, wink, wink, hold on. That's bullshit. I want to be able to see my shit. Like dead ass. Everything you sow here, you will reap in eternity. So, well, hey, tell that to, you know, the systems that and the powers that be. Because I love to be reaping what I sow when it comes to, you know, growing and building here. But kind of a little hard to do that, you know, when it comes to literally having practically fucking everything stomped against you. And that goes to you too. And everyone else here as well. It's not just like, you know, like a fucking one-off little like, oh, just one person or some shit. Unless you're like some rich billionaire cocksucker, like, you're getting boned. Unless you're like a CEO to like some big business or some shit, you're getting boned. Though solid dispensaries, classiest way to buy your weed. Classiest way? Yeah, it is. That's how we do it over here. of real stock industry. The pollen chucking has to fucking stop. I mean, I don't really know too much about whatever, with that shit going on, but I will say, I'm just glad that, there's a nice big abundance of amazingness. And slowly but surely, this whole country will finally fucking, understand it. I will say, like, I was kind of a little shocked that, the rescheduling of weed went from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, like, officially now. And, because honestly, it kind of seemed like the administration was kind of going the other direction with, when it came to marijuana. But now it's like, no, Schedule 3 now, which means that it's far more closer to, at least being decriminalized across the board or legalized, throughout the states, or at least be a lot more easier to, have it, get, decriminalized in state by state. And legalize, some way as well in that factor too. So it's not that bad. He is very much so. The only thing that I'm willing to give him any bare credit for is literally what I just said. That's like the only fucking thing. And even then, that's piss poor. Just decriminalize it federally and then let the states figure it out from there if he's so states' rights about it. I'd anti-Trump if he federally decriminalized it. Seriously, no, I agree with that. Wish he did. Greetings from Nicaragua. Greetings. They did this for a big pharma. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised, to be honest. That's your growing period. Give it 2 years. I mean, I will say, like, this is a major consequence when it comes to legalization across the board, outside of just, state by state, is that, yeah, like, even companies like tobacco companies are kind of wanting to get into the whole, like, marijuana business too, because they kind of recognize that there's business in that and money in it. There's more grain than just the grain you're smoking. So it's starting to kind of become a very opportunistic enterprise, which, I mean, I'm not like completely against, but at the same time, I don't want these fucking big corporations getting in the fucking middle of this shit. Like, has the proper competition of like old school farmers, or like people that have been growing it since like 1969 or some shit, Summer of 69, like having people growing it since then and shit, and their fucking, niece, nephews, and sons, daughters, or whatever, taking over the family business and shit. Let it be those people. Like, because that's pretty much just how it happened with a lot of, businesses in these legal states. Over time, a lot of these, people that obviously were legally, growing it for a long time became absolutely official once it became legal in the states. At least they're residing. Still waiting from back in the day. Shame on you. Don't be stealing weed. Just ask for... Oh, well, you probably couldn't at the time, could you? Oh, you were a... I get it. But still. Shame. I get it, though. I get it. I understand, but come on. Come on now. Come on, guy. Clark is going off with the, like, Bible thumping. Hey, Clark, we kind of moved on from the Bible thumping a little bit ago. Like, and also, Jesus Christ would not be happy with you fucking proselytizing on the streets. I'm pretty sure that Christ, especially on the Sermon on the Mount, was pretty critical about people out there on the streets proselytizing, like, repent. Like, Christ was pretty adamant about being against people like that. That includes you, buddy. Don't believe God. Well, I know you... I don't know if you do or not, but hey, now I know. I don't either. I'm an anti-theist, not just an atheist. So, I mean, I'm just not in favor of man-made religions. Doesn't mean I have my own, like, personal, broader spiritualistic beliefs and shit. But beyond that, that's it. You from Chicago? Nope. Though, honestly, if there's any city that I would move to if I had to leave Portland, it would be fucking Chicago. It's my favorite fucking city besides Portland that I've ever been to. I believe we came from nothing and come from nothing. It become nothing. I mean, yeah, I pretty much believe for the most part. I mean, the Big Bang ultimately kind of like comes from a thing of a sorts. Now, what it is, who fucking knows? I mean, we just know that it had its bang and it something, something came from that, but we just aren't going to probably anytime soon going to figure that out. But ultimately, it's like, yeah, I will say, despite being anti-theistic and shit, if they're like the closest spiritualistic belief I have is kind of like my own interpretation of reincarnation, like where we all are energy. Like the universe ultimately is energy, like that is, out there. Like, when it comes to like the sun and stars and black holes, when it comes to like everything and life itself, like all of it comes from energy. And it's like, even though we're dead, our energy does go back to, well, for us at least, back to the earth, where that energy changes into the grass, into the dirt, into the critters and the bugs that, eventually are eating your decaying corpse or whatever. It's like all that type of shit. It's like, so in a way, it's like our energy of who we are now does, blend and bleed in and reincarnate into other, forms of life over time. That doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna like have another life and you're gonna like, be a thing, necessarily or whatever. But like when it comes to our energy, who we are, it does change and go into other life. I mean, if you really ultimately think about it, how do we sustain, especially when it comes to omnivores, or even herbivores or carnivores? Like they eat other life, for herbivores, for plants, omnivores, plants and other animals, and for carnivores, just animals, and maybe every now and then, like, plants occasionally. But it's like ultimately they're consuming some form of life, to energize themselves, which is going into them. That energy of what that life is going into them. So, I mean, to a degree, there is like a form of it. Got a cat? Kind of. It's actually my dad's cat mostly, but I mean, I like to kind of think of him as mine too. I have a dog. Look like Clark is gone finally. Is the Bible thumping done? Maybe my shit finally got him to dip or something. For like a modless chat for tonight, I will admit it's actually, I'm digging it. Usually, like, one of my mods like Rose or Mornax or somebody else, pops in for a minute. Oh yeah, I'm digging it. I'll say, no need to get subscriber like chat only mode on, haven't timed anyone or banned anyone. I'm digging it. Which, speaking of, if any of y'all digging it, don't be afraid to do a like, subscribe, all that other shit, and it helps boost the algorithm up, and all that little fun stuff. And especially coming the next few days, because I'm gonna have some concert videos being uploaded here pretty soon. There probably will be one for sure coming tonight. So, like style, dude. Well, thanks. I feel like I probably should at least, pop that out every so often. is in Eugene. Nope. My brother used to live in Eugene, so I used to go down there, every so often. But, at this point, nope. I live like 2 hours north. Springfield? No. Like I said, 2 hours north. What's the big city that's 2 hours north of Eugene? There's this goose that came to my yard today. These animals who are trying to catch it. Apparently it got bird flu. I feel like that's bad omen. Came to my yard to die. Nah, well, probably not. But if it's sick and they've been tracking it, then it probably just happened to be there because it's sluggish, and its flock probably told it to fuck off because they realized it was sick. Because geese and ducks and shit, like, they're more smarter than people think. So when it comes to like injured or sick birds, when it comes to those species, like they will like fuck them off, like be like, nope. If you get better, you come back to the flock, but kind of thing. But for the most part, you're just like, still to beep. I've mentioned this once already on stream. I'm not mentioning it again. The massive TLDR version is that the contract release literally says not to fuck with it. You can't replace the damn battery. I wish you could, but anyway, but there you go. I'm not going to explain it further. Don't mention it again. Just be an adult and realize it's a fucking thing and it sucks and whatever. I know Eugene from Band of Brothers. The trader was from there. Oh, yeah. Then, yeah. That is... I love that scene in a weird way because it's like, doesn't it kind of show that, like, because think about that, like, the trader with the, the People's Call, the Volksskade, whatever it was called. It's just like, I mean, his parents, like, if you listen to what he was saying, his parents were the ones who took the call, and he was a kid. And by the time, the war was breaking out, especially, like, you got conscripted. And, it's like, you can kind of tell in his, face, like, I kind of don't really give a fuck. I'm just kind of here. Well, shit, kind of thing. And then ultimately, it just ended up being like, well, he ended up being executed. And honestly, it's kind of shitty in a way. It's like, because, think about it. Like, how many, because think about like the Russia-Ukraine war, for example, because I know for a fact there are like foreign legionnaire divisions and battalions and squads of people from all over the world that are out there, not just for Ukraine's side, but even for fucking Russia too, to an extent. And it's like, imagine like, one of them catching like some dude who's a prisoner, and then one of them finds out they literally like live like literally like 2 streets over from them, in the same city. You know what I mean? That would be a mind fuck. Especially when it's like you're on the opposite sides and shit. It's like, I mean, that's a mind fuck in a way. It's like, what the fuck are you doing way out over here doing this shit? In a way, you could probably ask the same fucking question. I mean, maybe it's a more valid answer depending on whose side you're talking to, but ultimately it's like, what the fuck, It's like, whoa. Till it's nightfall, deep, so cheap. That's why so. It's. I've already explained this like twice already, and also it's not even my goddamn place anyway, so it's not even my fucking problem ultimately. Favorite type of Asian cuisine? That's hard to fucking choose, bro. You gotta narrow that one down. I got too many answers for that. Like, what part of Asia at this point? Like, we gotta narrow this one down. Like, Chinese, specific, like, Japanese, Southeast Asian, like, Thai, Indian, like, what are we talking about? Dude, because honestly, I have different answers depending on what we got. That's for you to tell me, bro. Shit. Oh, here, I'll answer real quick, but I'll put John on blast for a sec. Yo, bro, you've been chill for the most part, but dude, don't be a fucking dick. Like, come on. Like, I've explained it enough. Like, you don't have to, like, be nagging, bro. I'm actually, like, giving leeway because I actually think you're, been pretty chill. So it's like, come on, bro. Bye. Well, okay, that works too, I guess. We talk about food, live sweet and sour chicken. What type? What type of Asian style? Because there's different types of sweet and sour chicken too. You know what? Honestly, I guess I'm gonna have to narrow it down to ultimately like what I personally would think is my favorite when it comes to broader Asian cuisine. And for me, it's probably gonna be Japanese. Because honestly, I'm a fucking sucker for some sushi, bro. And some sashimi. And other shit. It's like I'm a fucking sucker for that stuff. And what's weird, growing up, I used to not like it. But now, I mean, I will say, depending on what's, into sushi and stuff like that and everything, I mean, might not be my thing and stuff. I don't know why, but around here, like California rolls are just like avocado or like sour cream and other shit. It's just like, I don't want that. I'm not a fan of avocado that much. I don't like sour cream and other stuff like that. So here, like Americanized, at least like, Asian, even authentic, like, places, around here have those options. And I'm like, eh. But there's other actual, like, more authentic, like Japanese style, like sushi, that they have at these places, especially if you go to like an actual restaurant instead of like going those like more kind of fast casual places where I'm like, ooh, well, I'm like, oh yeah, like that's some bank. Because, but like depending on what it is. Now, I will say I've never had eel, and I want to try that. I've always wanted to give it a shot. So maybe next time I, go to a legit, pretty decent little sushi place, I might snag me, a little bit of eel just to try it. Because I know that is like a big dish, especially in sushi when it comes to Japanese dishes, and I want to try it. Where you from, bro? Portland, and a PNW. To me, bone, but yum. Well, unless you're getting some really poor quality sushi, which if you're getting bone in your fish and stuff like that, you might want to not go there ever again. Japanese best overall. I kind of, yeah. I have to kind of agree with that, dude. It's just because, like, I mean, you got like ramen, you got other stuff like, what is, pretty standard for other Asian dishes, they have too. And it's just as good. So, I mean, if you're not feeling sushi, they got ramen places, you got other, restaurants and other places. It's not just like sushi and shit like that. Like, overall, like Japan really do got some shit on lock over there. I will say I'd seen some of their American stuff, and shit out there, and I'm like, I get it, but stop it. Like, you are trying you're trying to out American us, but you're not doing it right. You know what I mean? I'm just like, homie, like Japan, you all gotta like, chill out on trying to Americanize certain things. You don't do it quite right. I know a lot of that's because of our influence there, though, so I can't really quite blame them. And I will admit, there are a couple places that do it all right, but what about old-fashioned steaks? I love a good old-fashioned steak. You can never go wrong with a good classic steak. Do you have your Portland hat? I have my Los Malamblados hat. I just haven't worn it in a while just because I want to put like another pin or two back on it, and I need some pin backs for some other pins. So I've kind of retired it for the meantime. I've actually retired a couple hats because some of the pins and other shit I need to replace or get pin backs, for the pins specifically and shit. So I'm like, just like, fuck. I'm just like, son of a bitch. good Chinese food here in Australia? Oh, I imagine. I would love to fucking visit Australia, bro. It's just so fucking expensive to go there and be there. I unfortunately don't think I will ever visit that country, sadly, but if I could, I would absolutely love to. One day. Hopefully. Australian bastard cannabis. Ever had that? No, but that sounds fucking awesome. That sounds amazing. Australian people are funny and seem fun. You know, they seem like, strangely, like that distant uncle of America that comes over every now and then for like family gatherings. That's actually low-key cool as fuck. And when you visit him, you realize that like you forgot how actually legit cool he is sometimes. Outside of that, like once in a blue moon, like every 5 years, you know, per gathering, he kind of fucks up occasionally. You know what I mean? Like he seems like, Australia seems like that to America to me. You know what I mean? That's how I weirdly view Aussies, you know, because, dude, I swear, even the wildlife out there fears the Aussie. I saw this video where it's about, like, these, you know, lifeguards and medics, you know, at the beaches, sometimes when it comes to those box jellyfish, because there would be some kids that, you know, unfortunately get stung, and one kid who got stung by a box jellyfish was just wailing and it sounded like it was being tortured to death, basically, which, a box jellyfish, yeah, I wouldn't even want to be stung by that shit. But there was one kid who had sea urchin fucking spines in his fucking foot. Like, spikes this deep in his foot, and he just like, hey, what's up, yo? Hey, mate. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I stepped on a sea urchin. Yeah. And he just sat down, and he's like, yeah, how's it going? Yeah, I'm doing good. He didn't cry, not a tear, nothing. He just sat there and went like, just doing that basically. I'm like, this fucking kid is a goddamn unit. Like, if I stepped on a sea urchin like he probably did, especially the shit that in, I would just basically be like, all right, I'm dead. Take me. I'm done. And this little kid who's like, I think he was like 10 or something, is just sitting there like, like he was wincing, you know, he was doing that, but dude, he's taking it like a fucking unit, dude. I'm like, these fucking, dude, Aussies are built different, bro. Those motherfuckers, you sons of bitches are built different, like straight up. I'm a little jelly in a weird way. Like, built different, dude. Stepping on a sea urchin at like 10 years old and just sitting there not crying or nothing. Just like, oh, I stepped on that. That sucks. Well, got to take these spines out. That hurts, but all right. They're out. You know, it's like, Jesus. You think that's bad? Okay, jellyfish are the size of your fingertip and the worst kind of all jellies. Dude, what is with, like, the smaller the animal, the worse the sting / venom / poison? Like, why? Scorpions are the same way. The smaller they are, the worse it is. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why? What is wrong with nature? Especially in Australia. Oh, Billy, I'm not... Bro, I mentioned it plenty of times. I'm pretty sure Mornax or anyone else could probably explain it to you. Be an adult, move on from it. Can we just talk about animals for real? I love animals. I mean, honestly, like, I love talking about it. Like, biology, like, zoology, and, like, all that type of shit. Dude, and that's kind of, you know, like, a little bit of my forte. I love talking about shit like that. It's bird and bear. Just ignore it. Yeah, I mean, I've explained plenty of times, and it's not even ultimately my burden, it's my buddy's, and even then, he's going to be moving relatively soon at some point, so it's like, whatever. If you want to get anyone, get it on. Is it playing animal by price more than we do now for everyday use, if not forgotten knowledge? Yeah, like that, and that's kind of a thing that's pretty fucking like wild to me, is knowing like how. You want to know a crazy fact? Like half of agricultural harvests when it comes to like corn, wheat, grains, all shit that normally could actually be used for people, go into husbandry and like animal farming and animal agriculture. Like half of our fucking harvest goes into that strictly to feed them. Not that that's a bad thing. Obviously, I want to feed your animals, but like, I mean, very specific crop is used strictly just for that. And the thing is, do you really think just having like pigs, cattle, etc., eating corn, grain, wheats all the fucking time is good for them on that massive a scale? They need more diversity in their diet. And that is certainly ain't it. Oop. There we go. Love possums. They're so fucking durable and adorable. I don't care what anyone says. Possums are so fucking cute and are very useful in nature. And is North America's only marsupial. And also, they're resistant to rabies, and they hunt and go after things like ticks, fleas, and other shit. Like they're very useful, to have around. Has anyone ever petted one? I've done this once. Like I was walking home with my friends on the bike trail once here in Portland, and I saw one that was like up aside against the fence, and I was like, "Yo, guys, hold on to my shit real quick." And I ran up to it, and it just sat there going like. And I just kind of scratched its little back, and it just kind of literally went, ow. It didn't bite me or nothing. It just literally it went like, and just like rested its little maw on my hands. While I was just like, giving it a little scritch. Probably tried to play dead. No, it didn't. It just kind of went like tense, went like, what the fuck? And then, it didn't even bite down. It just like rested its like teeth on my hand. And after a minute, I just kind of pulled my hand out and I was like, all right, little buddy. Gave it a little head scritch and it kind of went like, kind of did that and kind of did this little kind of thing. And then I was like, all right. And I walked off and it just sat there kind of just staring at me like, what the fuck? Just like, I kind of liked it, but I fucking hated that shit. It was so weird, but hey. Honestly, like, strangely, its under fur is super soft, but its outside fur was kind of prickly. So, I mean, I'm sure if it, if you had one as a pet and kept up, it'd probably be completely super soft, but at least for that one, it definitely had a lot of that nice soft under fur. Oh, turn down just a smidge. There we go. Actually, it's just because it's going like fucking crazy mode on. I'll just switch it. There we go. It's living in Modesto, California, agriculture central. It was wild. It works at a pump repair company. Made pumps for Hershey, Frito-Lay, Pepsi. Shit. Damn, for all sorts of shit. Was it a union job by chance? Because a job like that sounds like it'd be a good, union paying job right there. What type of school? Jacob? At a positive allowed to say bail right at my feet. Shit out like I fear. Scooped up a shovel after. Oh, that poor little thing. It wasn't where I left it. I was impressed. Well, after you unintentionally, out of fear, kicked the damn thing, it probably played dead. And once you scooped it up and dropped it, somewhere gently, I'm hoping, after a while, it went like, all right, coast clear. I'm out of here. That poor boss. That poor little thing. Predators might think you were tainted meat if you froze up is one theory. Yeah, I know for certain animals, I know another theory at least is that you pretty much like are already dead at that point and it doesn't want to eat you. Like, because I know for some predators, like bears, cougars, etc., like they kind of want the thrill of the chase and the kill kind of thing. And if you just like, just kind of pretend to be a limp, it's just going to kind of fuck off after a while. It probably is still going to try to eat you and fuck you up. But if you like, you know, just don't react to it, or at least as little as possible, it might just fuck off after a minute. I mean, who knows? I don't want to be in that situation. Frankly, like, if I know I'm in an area where I'm like, there could be a predator that would may or may not want to eat me, I'm packing. Might be a lefty and shit, but hey, go far left enough to get guns back, wink. So, hey, and I wouldn't be packing light either on that shit. Equipment wasn't OSHA approved. Hey, every now and then, especially when it comes to certain local unions and stuff like that, not everything was OSHA approved of that shit either. You gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I mean? Hey, if the job got done, no one was bitching. Had that made half the tools by hand, I fixed it, I said, well, for the 20 on the pallet. Shit. So much for a growing winemaker, lived next to a walnut orchard, peach orchard, almond orchard, and cornfields, and a goat dairy. Nice. Yeah, at least at my house, one of my neighbors has like my old neighbors had like a fat cherry tree that's still there that my neighbors that live over there now kept up. And there's like 4 fat branches that are on our property where I can at least kind of bring them down and just collect a few cherry trees or cherries. It's always fun. And I also have kiwis on one side of my fence too that are insane. Like every time we trim those bitches back, they just grow like more thicker every time. It's ridiculous. Those things, I swear, will never die because those things have been alive as long as I've been. So, and they still produce kiwis like throughout the entire year. They just never ripen on the vine unless it's like around spring or summertime. Then sometimes they do, but you know, usually you just kind of have to just pick them and let them wait a couple days. Any factory videos are so cringe, no safety protocols at all. Oh, dude, I've seen like plastic recycling, you know, like molting metal into like brass, bronze, copper, like cubes to be sold elsewhere to be smelted into those shit. Dude, I feel so bad for those fucking people, bro. And what's even more fucked is that they probably do have like some basic worker protections to a certain degree, but it's like, and even then, that's what they're fucked with. And it's like, Jesus Christ, bro. Ugh. They need to like just like rise up on that shit. Like, as goddamn, dude. Everyone's tree big enough that I could climb it. Huge, two good-sized grapefruit trees. Nothing like the grapefruit, so we played baseball with them. Oh, no one liked them. Yeah, grapefruit, it could be alright. To be fair, I'm not a big fan of grapefruit either. Though grapefruit juice, I like grapefruit juice. Oh, that reminds me, I always wanted to get one of those cast iron juicers. Because honestly, like, fuck any other modern type of juicer, cast iron's the way to go with that one. And I so badly want one. Also had grapes, almonds, chestnuts, a fucking massive pomegranate tree. It was like a garden of Eden for an 8-year-old. Shit, man. I can imagine. I know my step grandma and my granddad, before my granddad passed, used to have like this property where they didn't really like have like, you know, orchards or nothing, but they had like, you know, ranch where they had some chickens, you know, and a bunch of ponies and a couple horses, and I might be wrong, but I think a couple chickens too. They just had them to have them for the most part, you know, and would sometimes have like eggs and other shit and, you know, stuff like that. But for the most part, they just kind of had them to have them. And, you know, in my very early days, you know, I remember going up there often, you know, and hanging out with the horses and the ponies and stuff, and every now and then riding at least little ponies because I'm like 4 years old, so I'm just like, can't ride the big horse, but I can kind of plop myself on a little pony and let it like kind of wander around while I just like kind of hold on to its mane like bloop, bloop, bloop. Shit. I always want to go horseback riding and honestly like have a property like that. Maybe not like ponies, but like a couple horses, some goats, a little bit of orchards and stuff, and like, either a heavy gardening or light farming, whatever you want to call it, a little chunk, for that, another chunk, for a couple goats and some horses and some chickens and shit. I mean, honestly, because there is a story about why that ranch got sold, and honestly, it's kind of a shitty fucking story. It's because my uncle, and he's a piece of fucking shit. Won't bore it with the whole story, but let's just say he's fucking crazy and kind of a greedy, narcissistical piece of shit. We'll just put it that way. Scared of horses and cows. Well, really enough, I kind of used to, because I know that, especially with horses and cows, mainly bulls, like, they can be some mean motherfuckers sometimes. But luckily, especially growing up, my experiences with horses have always been, really good because the horses have always, like, had really laid back personalities or really friendly personalities. Like, I've pet a horse and watered it. I was 20 years old and super chill, but I ain't riding it. Well, if you have like one that's super chill, then likely that's probably better for riding. Or at least one that's like super friendly. Like, I mean, one that's kind of an asshole, yeah, they're probably not going to be good for riding. Unless it trusts you and actually knows you and it's like, all right, I like you. Like, because like, sometimes horses can be somewhat temperamental occasionally. Bull scared the shit out of me when I was like 5 or 4. Yeah, I remember when I was at my cousin's ranch, because he has a bunch of cattle that he'll collect for dairy and sells and stuff like as he breeds them, and he has a bull that is a temperamental motherfucker. Like he at one point saw me because one of the females, one of the sows got kind of curious. One heifers actually, my bad, came up to me and she was like. She was skittish, but she sniffed me a little bit, and then the bull noticed that though, way off in the distance by this fucking tree, just staring at me like. And then it just started strutting like casually, like, but with like this bad bitch motherfucker ass like kind of energy, like, what's up, motherfucker? What you doing by my bitch, huh? Just straight up. That fucking yeah, And he never like charged or nothing. You saw him making moves on his girl. Yeah, his Harlem of bitches, dude. And I messed with one of them. Because he was next to a few of them with like a calf. Like, so he was like next to a couple just chilling. But he just happened to see me being like, that's one of my backup bitches. Hold up now. You know what I mean? I gotta protect my bitch. So then my cousin, I actually had to stop myself really quick because I almost said his name, but I don't want to. But he noticed that. He grabbed this fat fuck stick and he's like, and my grandma, who's like 90 plus, like 95 plus years old, was there. Two of my aunts were with us at the time, and they were at this little picnic table, just like, should we be afraid? And he's like, nah, it's fine. And I was just like, I kind of want to record this because, like, at this point, he's like pretty close, and I'm like, I looked at, my cousin being like, yo, is it because I checked out one of his chicks, and let her sniff me and stuff? And he's like, yeah, he's temperamental. He knows me, though. I know how to deal with him. He's like, go on, get. He had a stick being like, go on, get now. And he just went, bruh, bruh. He just started doing that every now and then, and he did a quick little, like that, at my cousin, and he just went bap, bap, with the stick on his head. It's like, go on, come on now. And when he did that, my little grandma, her nickname's Mimi, so I'll always say that for her. Like Mimi and my aunts, like they just like start swaddling and like waddling their way so fucking quick to the car, being like, "We're out, we're done." Just, oh my god, seeing my little grandma like Mimi just like hustling so quick while she's also being like, like partly lifted up by my aunts side by side, being like, "We're out of here." Oh my god, dude. Dude, that was hilarious. And I got behind this fat fucking boulder, because those two were kind of like still weirdly sparring, and I was recording it. And I think I'm pretty sure I have that video somewhere. If I do, I might just have to upload it, because I know for a fact I have it somewhere. But either way, like, eventually he just kind of like, backed up for, a little bit and just kind of went, and then he kind of went on his side, staring at all of us, like right in front of all of his Harlem, basically, being like, "You don't go near my bitches." I'm just like, all right, well, I ain't gonna be approaching those cows anymore anytime soon. It was the one time I happened to be out there and seeing that shit, so, I mean, and honestly, like, that was just like the couple acres. Like, I ended up just exploring it on my own, because he has like a lot of fucking acres, and most of it's just undeveloped, just natural lands, and he tends to, for the most part, keep it that way. And it's like, whoa, it is really fucking cool. Honestly, I can see it being used as like an airsoft field, because there's like some cool ditches, like some little, like some trees that are falling down. It's just like a really fucking cool spot. And, like interesting plants and, spiders, stuff like that. Like a lot of interesting shit where I don't normally see, because I know there's like these crab orb reavers, like these tiny little guys, like little, maybe the biggest to go about yay. And like they have very colorful admins, with their, little butts, where sometimes it's like white, blue, yellow, orange, red, and they're everywhere out there. I took a couple pictures of those because I was just like, I mean, because I see orb weavers here all the time, but never saw those before, because I knew they were around. I just never knew that they're in North America, or at least in Texas. Got caught in a tall grass by a herd in Texas when I was 8 years old, hunting with my cousins. Scared snakes and shit. Yelled trail. My dad's busy shooting a turkey. Damn. Do you think if Sisyphus was on meth, he could have gotten that rock over the hill? No, because the whole point of Sisyphus is that, no matter how hard he tries, no matter what he does, and no matter how hard he gets that boulder up that fucking mountain, by the time it gets right up to the top of it, it falls right back down. Like, no, like, it doesn't matter what he does. If he was methed out, took steroids, it doesn't matter. Like, right at the very end of that shit, it's just going to ultimately fail on him. Even if he was at his peak. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the story of Sisyphus. I wish there was like a caveat being like, well, no, if he did this, but no, it's unfortunately not. Used to date the strike to was a barrel racer. One day she was showing me her horse, and it kicked her right in the groin. I had to jump in the pen to help her get up. So scary. Jesus. The horseshoe mark was there for a month. Damn. Yeah, my mom, growing up, actually had a really bad incident where she got bucked off by a horse, and while the horse was still kind of bucking, and she like got yeeted off, it hit her head. She was wearing a helmet, but she had a mild concussion for like a couple days after that, and had like a massive bruise on, like the side of her head or like somewhere. It was pretty brutal. Like, horses can be pretty fucking wild and can kill a motherfucker. If you get like kicked by a horse like dead in the chest, that's more likely than not gonna just straight kill you. I mean, so horses aren't necessarily to fuck with, but I mean, if you get one that's really good and you treat it right, they can really be the most like sweetest, playful, like a puppy basically, like when it comes to their behavior and shit. Like that's just kind of thing about horses. Like sometimes you'll just get one that's really sweet, and sometimes you got one that's just an asshole. Might get one that's a little skittish. Might get one that's just like, I'm chill. What's up, bro? Not friendly, not necessarily an asshole, just kind of there. Just kind of like, just vibe. What's up? I guess in a way that would be friendly, but not overtly like where it wants to play or anything. Just kind of just chills. Doing New Year's resolutions. Honestly, I'm not. I've learned like a year or two ago that New Year's resolutions, unless it's like basic fucking simple, it's just better not to have them. Make it simple. Like make it like one basic simple fucking thing and that's it. If you are going to do one. Like for example, like I want a better job. There you go. See, just leave it at that. It doesn't, that's not a hard task or whatever. You know what I mean? Random shit like that. Don't try to like make it more complicated and have like a list or nothing. Just make it very basic, very simple, and just do that. Because I guarantee you, let's just be honest. 99% of the time when people have New Year's resolutions, they never follow up with them after February. Some that might actually try to keep it in mind might go as far as like maybe March. Like let's just be honest here. So just have one and keep it simple. If anything, just make it something that's already been a goal in your mind anyway. Like they've, like let's say you've already been thinking about trying to get your health in order and you're already kind of on that track. Well, make that your New Year's resolution then. Just keep doing that. Just try to shoot for a particular goal while maintaining that, and there you go. Just keep it simple, stupid. You know what I mean? It's that philosophy. It's the whole, like, keep it simple, stupid principle. Don't overcomplicate it. New functional method back when I worked in the shit dealership. He was hell diesel mechanic. I knew one when I used to work at Safeway back in the day, and he was functional too. I mean, he never did it at work or on work days. And for some fucking reason, he used it as a way to lose weight, apparently. Which he did. I mean, I saw pictures before and after he was comfortable with the weight he was at, he stopped and never did it again. He wasn't addicted to her or nothing, which is like... I don't know, man. It's such a... Don't ask me why he did it that way. I can't explain it. I don't understand it, but it worked for him apparently. So whatever. AI method. Oh shit. Given AI meth. I wonder what that would look like. Is that even possible? Unless we have like, like a Terminator-esque like cybernetic / like organic kind of... I don't think we're going to be able to do that. Mr. Igna. It seems a little too formal, but I don't mind it. Sorry, I'm just kind of passing a bunch of comments because I'm just like, fuck, I just gotta catch up. Can I argue results? Well, that's what I'm saying. Vito, you're nesting on the fucking speaker, which actually is not really a bad idea. Damn it, Vito, you crazy bastard. You are such a whiny boy. You're insane. You don't even know what you want, dude. Like, you want me to snuggle you, and you want to be all up my grill, but you also want to, like, go off and play. Pick a lane, dude. Up. Damn, dude. Get your big old butt out of Jesse's poor face. He's insane. Unleashing the veto hounds. Crazy bastard. Ugh. Does rubble and mash. Get your ball. Get your ball, Vito. Get your toy. Get your toy. Distract yourself and get your toy. Damn. Really got my face last second over here. Like, damn. Hot Cheeto soap. No gracias. Oh, God. Ew. I'm going to do it on a ban on any complaints about smoke detector. Nah. It was more persistent earlier. If it gets mentioned once by some rando, just time out for like 60 seconds or something. I don't know. They'll gotta be full 300. Because I know they have like a 10-second and like a 60-second option, you know, and stuff like that. So just do one of those. Just make it a little baby one. And I know you were saying I missed something. Where'd it go? Oh, I think it was that Mav going on. Yeah, because we were talking about it, but spaced on, you know, yours, which would be the most thematic one. Wait, no, I already read that one. Bryce, man. Wait, so was there another one I missed? Was there another one I missed? Well, I read them all. Dill or bread and butter pickles? Bread and butter pickles? The fuck is that? Because I would eat the shit out of that. I don't even know what it is, but I'd eat it. But because I never had it, I guess I would have to say dill pickle. Because I love dill pickles. Especially Clausen. Clausen brand dill pickles. And what sucks is that I can't find the solid ones. Every time I find Clausen, it's always like sliced up or like in like, you know, the fucking hamburger little slices or whatever. I'm just like, why is there not just regular fucking whole Clausen pickles? I got the resolution part, but not the part after. Maybe I did, but yeah. Fuck yes, it's mayonnaise pickles. Yeah. Clausen, dude. That's what's, yep. Now, like I said, I haven't had in a long time because they don't have the solid ones out here. I've looked fucking everywhere. They have every other one, but just regular old solid pickles. It's annoying. It's bullshit. It's like boo. Boo, bro. Bread and butter pickles suck. Just bad pickles with a ton of sugar. I suppose good to know because I've literally haven't even heard of it before. So definitely one of those ones where I'm just like, nah. I mean, I will admit the name does sound good, but I've just never seen it. Because I will try it. But, I mean, if I don't like it, now I'm just going to have a jar of pickles I'm not going to like. So, hopefully I could find someone that would like them. But that's why I want to at least just try one first. Some about sweet pickles that's unnatural. Also, why do pickles taste different from fast food places versus from the store? Probably the particular type of pickle that they use. But I'm not really against sweet pickles personally, but I'm just more a fan of a dill pickle. It's good old classic dill. My order is usually deluxe ginger pickles, pickles, and pickles slapped. And then I tried claws and pickles one day, and I was like, "This is like Wendy's pickles." I wonder if Wendy's uses clausen. Because you look for a fast food place, Wendy's is actually kind of a little low-key clutch and actually pretty aight. Because if you have a Baconator, take the mayo out, add lettuce, pickles, and onion to a Baconator. Request it when you order it because they don't put it on unless you do. Bro, shit you not. If you want tomato, put that on there as well. But I shit you fucking not. And if you're a pickle fiend like I am, extra pickles. Make sure that they put extra pickles on it. Bro, I shit you not, bro. Best fucking thing on the menu right there. Just a good old Baconator. Add those ingredients. For me, I'm not a fan of mayo, so I take that off. But I leave, the rest of the sauce. And then make that a meal. Boom. Bro, I'm telling you. That's the way to go. Wendy's nuggets are pretty dank. I haven't had those in a long time. The last few times I've been to Wendy's, I just go with my lock. I just said it. That's my lock. So, Baconator is dank. It is. I don't like mayo, but I can tolerate mayo-based sauces as long as it's like raw mayo taste masked by a bunch of extra spice. Yeah, like a mayo habanero like special sauce or something that like a restaurant has. I've had mayo sauces where you got other shit and that's their sauce and it's like a signature sauce or something of theirs. That's great. I love that shit. But just straight mayo, I just don't like mayo. So, bleh. But if it's like a really good specialty, like house made, like spicy / like flavored mayo sauce thing, whatever. Yeah, oh yeah, I'll be down for that. Ever piss on a grave? No, but I could think of some graves I would if I could. Not gonna name any. We haven't really talked too much politics, though, but I mean, from the few that could be inferred, I think you could probably guess some names. And last bacon I had was Cosmic. You remember I got a buzz from it? Yeah, you somehow had like a buzz off of that Baconator, bro. You were like straight dopamine looping, like rushed, like peaked on that Baconator. I'm telling you, man, Wendy's, they got that shit on lock. I don't know what they're doing, but goddamn, they know what's up. I'll tell you what. Pissed on my art teacher's grave. Oh, I never do that for my art teachers personally. Show me up because I literally was just bad at drawing. Was it one of those things where you had to take it to graduate for high school or something? Was it one of those like electives or whatever, or credits that you needed? Which I could understand because in my art classes outside of the last semester where I kind of forced my way into art 3, 4 instead of 1, 2. So like I was just like, because honestly, the class that I had initially, half of them were just there because they had to take it. They had to have an art credit point, and that's what they had. The other half of the class were people like me that actually gave a fuck and wanted to be there. And just took it either just to take it because they already fulfilled the credits, and I was one of those people. I just wanted to take it just to take it. So, but because I was like the top 3, 5 of the class pretty much 95% of the time, outside of like one project where it was a little like, a little struggle, but got the hang of it over time as I kept practicing. But I like kind of pressure being like, hey, like, because in our high school we had day 1 and day 2 periods. Like overall we had 8 periods, but they were separated into 2 separate days, 4 periods each. So at one point I was like, hey, like I have because on my senior year I had a free period on the first period on my third semester or my third trimester or like the final one or whatever. And I asked her, it's like, hey, your like advanced art like 2-4 is on that day, and I can have a free period. We just gotta swap the days. Can you do that? And eventually, I just pressured her enough, and she just did it. Which honestly, especially if my art teacher that I had, she was fucking awesome, and I think she saw that I did have like the talent a little bit and actually gave a fuck, and actually cared. Even if I kind of like maybe went off the curve, from like from what was initially asked of the project, I still got it and still did it, like and ultimately, still pretty much, like I said, was like top 3 to 5, overall for the most part in that class, for a while until I decided to flip it and basically pressure it and be like, no, I want this, please. I want to actually be in a class where there's people that actually give a shit. Like that was why for the most part. And they're like, hey, he's gonna graduate anyway, so fuck it, why not? The only thing that was kind of holding me back at that rate was just a math class because I just always struggled with math and I just need 1 math credit. And luckily, I was actually taking 2. There was a geometry and then there was like this intermediate algebra class that I took because I was never really great at algebra. Geometry I was actually all right with, so I had a not like advanced geometry, but kind of like in between. So it's like one of the, what was it? I forgot exactly the name of the class because it wasn't like intermittent geometry or whatever the fuck. Geometry wasn't even really in the name, but it basically was geometry. It was just kind of more of an advanced version without it being like outright advanced geometry. I forgot exactly what it was called, but hey, at least it got me enough. I was like, yay. Because pretty much everything else was like excelled. That's why, especially in my senior year, I had a free period because they didn't want me taking like 3 math classes or like extra shit. Because I was also doing 2 science classes. I had a astronomy and a geology, and then I also had a genetics class. So it's like, I mean, I was also doing that type of shit as well. So, I mean, they didn't want to like overload me with extra shit, I suppose. But, I mean, I kind of wanted it at the end of that year. Oh, man, like my senior year was like kind of a hustle year, back in high school, way back in the day. Well over a decade ago, but shit. That was probably my most fun year in high school, though, I'll admit. Doing Starlight Parade, fucking, march band stuff, just all the fun shit, if like, when it came to the whole graduation shit, instead of having to play pomp and circumstance for graduees, I'm the one who has to listen to everyone else do it for me. It's like, and I kind of weirdly flubbed it too on my graduation. I was like, after I got my diploma, I went, yes, got it. Oh, and I was supposed to shake everyone's hand on the way down, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just like, yes, and they were like, wait, hold up. And I went, I kind of like, Scooby-Doo shit, like, went back. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just excited. My bad. And they were all laughing. I was laughing. It ended up being funny. I got a little bit of a roast, in the senior after party. That was an all-nighter too. At I forgot even fucking where it was, but like I got a couple roasts from it. But I'm like, you know what? At least I'm fucking happy and excited about it because it's a new chapter, bro. We should all be happy about it. And like, you know what? You're right. So it went to a roast to like, hey, I'm having a moment. So fuck you. And it worked out. It was good times, man. Shit. Like, I got a little nostalgia for back in those high school days, but I will say I'm glad that they're done. So for a long fucking time. Took a top class 2020, waste of fucking time. Um, I want to say but knowing how people are these days with typing and shit, it's like, oh god. Trimester Alpine High School? Nope. I mean, I don't want to really say the high school because it's like close to home, like kind of literally. So I'm like, I'll say this much: since you are rarely enough like in the general area of the guess, I'd say MA. That's the acronym for what I went. It's like kind of a high school within the high school. Well, academy. Art academy, I should say. Which actually is a relatively newer thing when it came to the high school I'm talking about. Like, it started in 2006, and I was the 2015 graduate of that particular academy / school and shit. So, high school graduation. Well, today's big day. All right, God bless. Yeah. Well, it was for me, like, I will say, like, for us in our school, like, we had like we wanted to make sure that the seniors had like an actual time and a vibe and something to actually like kind of remember a little bit outside of the generic bullshit. Like, and not every senior had to do the all-nighter after party thing, but I was kind of looking at my parents and be like, can I just please do it? Just like a lot of people I know and like some of my old bandmates, from jazz / like march band stuff. Like, I'm like, I kind of want to hang with them, be like, hey, one last hoorah. I know I've been a little, roasty and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But hey, we all have come a long way, and so have I, and all that shit. Ultimately, we can all have a good laugh with all the memories we've had and shit. And luckily, I think that, especially after all these years stuff, and, where the people I know that still kind of live around here that, and see, that been for that shit and everything, it's like, I think it's what helped, like, kind of solidify my presence around. Because, whenever I happen to be in an area and I'm like, oh shit, it's this motherfucker, I'm from like high school, or they recognize me and be like, you're from so and so, remember? Oh shit, it's like, that was more often than you think around here. It's really nice, kind of reconnect with a lot of different people when, it's been like a year or two or a decade or however long, it's like, because got a lot of catching up to do. Your graduation was a drive-through with Gubba going on. Oh, I would say that kind of sucks, but then you just mentioned I hotboxed the shit out of my car like 30 minutes beforehand. Now I'm thinking that's kind of unique as fucking awesome, actually. You made what would normally be kind of shitty into an awesome experience. Dude, I feel bad for everyone that had to graduate that year, dude. Oh my god, like, because you had to, like, somehow make it fun. Because what the fuck are they gonna do? They could call you out or nothing. Quite an experience. Sounds like it. I mean, in a weird way, that would be kind of cool to do. But also, wait, hold on. Like, what about the kids and the people that don't have cars and shit? How are they gonna do it? Like, through Zoom or some shit? Like, not. I will say, like, that is a little bit of a, I guess maybe, like, just someone's driving them, I guess. So glad I took a type class in high school. I type every day and glad I learned it. Yeah, I never took a type class myself, but I've always just been good at writing and typing in general. I don't do the traditional, like, I don't know how to roll a lot. I don't do like bird shit, but I kind of have my own unique little, like, I'm moving my hands around depending on, my shit, so I mean, I got my own little unique way of typing, but especially when it comes to, like, letter per minute, when it comes to typing and stuff, I actually have a pretty good, LPM. It's just, or like a WPM, like words per minute. So I mean, I just kind of do it a little differently. Mileage may vary though. Yeah, true. Shit, I need to like get back and play my trumpet again, honestly. Because like when I was doing jazz, march band, stuff like that, like I'm more of like guitarist, bassist, and vocalist, these days. But shit, man, like I really want to get back and playing trumpet. Like when I was seeing Bridge City's Sinners tonight, they brought out the fucking horn section for Los Monteblados, and Eric Molina was out there. I'm like, motherfucker. And honestly, if I didn't have to catch the last max to get back over to my friend's pad for tonight, I'd be like, God damn it. I'd fucking, straight up, like, I'd be hanging out with him. I got his number. I'm going to send some pictures to him and be like, I saw you at the show, motherfucker. If I didn't have to take the last max back home, I would have hit you up. What's up, bro? I'm going to send him some pictures, at least the best ones that I got. Because I'm like, motherfucker. I didn't expect that. Because I never saw any of them, when I was there. Because in between, like the sets, hanging out with my buddy, like, I was kind of wandering around, checking shit out. And I just didn't see him. Because I was just like, what the fuck? I'm like, God damn it. You know what? Last second, I probably could have been like, hanging out with him and be like, yo, homie, I hate that fucking ass, but I can even cash up if you want, but give me a ride home. But I wasn't going to do that to him. Because, I mean, I know they got a couple shows that they're going to be planning soon now that they're back because they've been working on a record too, at least another one. Shit. I need to hit him up again, honestly, just even for like maybe a jam sesh or some shit, because I know he does that every now and then. Get a bunch of homies together and just jam out and shit, so. We'll see if he happens to be like free, sometime. I mean, not necessarily like soon, but, soon-ish. Mr. Now. You have a good one, my friend. Not quite at the wrap-up point, but near the end of my burr. So, once I finish my burr up, I'm done. Which I'm actually almost at the 2-hour mark, for the stream. So, might round up, pretty nicely around there. Besides, I might want to... We always love kayaking, wink, these two for a minute. Just wish it wasn't so goddamn fucking cold outside. Ugh. I need to find different layers too, because I did sweat for like a layer. Now I need some better layers. I already at least got some new layers. And ooh, speaking of, I didn't even fucking show it off yet. Bloop. Dope ass little Bridge City shirt. I was debating on this one or another one. I was like, I kind of need color variation that isn't black. So I was like, I'm taking this yellow shirt. Surprisingly, like, merch was fucking cheap. For like a concert, like, it's very rare for like merch to be like cheap. Like, usually like most places when it comes to venues, especially like, where I was at, like t-shirts are like 40 or 45, maybe $50 sometimes. This is 30. It's like, for just like a shirt, that for a show, that's actually like good. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. I mean, considering that, like, depending if you're going to like a venue or like bar and they sell t-shirts and stuff, it's usually always like $20, stuff like that, right? Like, so if you got like a venue or something and it's like usually obviously going to be a little priced up inside, I'm like, all right, that's actually not bad. And plus, one of the openers, like, funny enough, Bridge City Sinners was basically opening for themselves. They had one of their band members be the first opener, which, from what I understand, he was kind of doing some karaoke a little bit, actually. Like, that's what he was doing. which I showed up last second for that for like his last song, which I was like, all right, it's all right, but it's like, okay, I guess that's what you gotta do. And then the second one was Lightning Luke, who's the fiddler for Bridge City Sinners, and he had his own little set that he did, which I got a couple things I'm gonna upload for that for sure. And that was a really good set. And then it was Clyde and the Mill Tailors, which Clyde is the banjo player for Bridge City Sinners as well. But he was in his own band with the Mill Tailors. You know, he had his own thing going on before Bridge City Center, so they every now and then go back and forth with each other. Which I was listening to some of their music before the show, but I haven't heard like some of their other works of the other two. But definitely love Clyde and Mill Tailors though, so eventually they're going to be put on my playlist eventually. Soon, probably by next stream. But I'll 100% make sure that I have at least a couple videos of that uploaded because I got a couple. Just gotta check them out, make sure they're all good. I would show them off, but they're on my phone that I'm streaming from, so I unfortunately can't do that. YouTube, you gotta like figure out a way to where even on these type of streams I can like dual screen it. You know what I mean? They gotta have that because they have a streamcast where like you can play games on your phone with YouTube and shit and all that. Like, and funny enough, even with this right now, I have like a weird YouTube playables list of like the games that are on YouTube. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that shit, but they got that, and I could literally pull one of those up and it'll pop it up probably. I actually never tried it to see what would happen. Because there is one where it's kind of casual that I think would be aight. It's 8-Ball Billiards. It's like a pool game. So I'm like, I'm kind of curious to test it just to see what it's like with that. Oh, fuck it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to see what happens. Just for the fuck of it. Oh, I'm in the corner. Okay. Wait, can I move myself? Oh, shit, I can. That's cool. All right. You know, let's do like a game. Fuck it. Why not? We'll do CPU. All right, I'm starting off here. I always like being a little. I always like doing shit like that. Wait, hold up. I'm gonna move myself over here real quick. Let's just bang. That was a terrible break. Well, yeah, that was a terrible break. Wait, can I move the chat? Oh no, I can't. What the fuck? Okay, that's gonna be annoying. Well, I literally cannot read all of that right now. It cut some of it off. Oh wait. Oh, there we go. Oh, it just pauses the game. Okay, there we go. That reminds me, this copyright shit for YouTube Shorts is bonkers. Granted, there's not much to my shorts. They just screenshots pre-grade my stories, but it's issue. They keep saying it's restricted due to music I use because I downloaded videos off my TikTok channel. I would say that, like, honestly, you might have to collaborate, like, what is acceptable for YouTube and TikTok. YouTube has the same music on their list of choices, so what the hell? Well, shit, I don't know what to tell you then at that point. All right, here, I actually got a good clear shot right here. Let's do that, and bang. Yeah, now we're stripes. All right, let's go. Now, this is going to be difficult. Oh, shit, I did not help. I did not do myself any favors. Oh, I cannot hit that. Oh, fuck. Okay. I'm just going to have to break it up further. Son of a bitch. Wait, yeah, no, yeah, just break it up. Well, I took out, I think, 2 saws, did I? Wait, no, oh no, I took one of mine and theirs. Okay, wait, no. There we go. That's a solid. Yep. Gently. Boop. Cool. I can't do that one. Wait, I could do that though. I'm gonna hit it a little harder just so I can get that white ball away. Nice. No, I scratched it. Too hard. Damn. Shit. Hey, at least I'm whooping the CPU's ass. Fuck. All right. Speaking too soon. Oh my god. Oh my Christ alive. Wow. Okay. This is good. This is good. This is good. All right. Oh Jesus Christ. All right. We're gonna try this. A little bit. Yeah. Pop. Nice. All right. Bang, bitch. All right. Nice. Yeah, move myself up there. Bang. Line up. Fuck yes. There we go. That's a lineup right there. Boom. Line up. All right. Hey, you know what? All right. Now, how do we get out of this? Oh, no, it's right there. It said exit game. Cool. There we go. Hey, you know what? That's actually kind of fun. So if we want to just kind of kill some time or, we could do something like that. All right. Now, YouTube, can you do that like kind of across the board? Like, what if I want to look at like a video that y'all got on your platform and want to do some reactions? YouTube, you're like literally one step away from making it better. One step away. You're like so close and yet so far. Come on now. It's like your own platform. Like, what's the worst? What's gonna happen when you like look at someone's homepage? What? Like, what's recommended to me? You know what I mean? It's like, come on now. So shorts can do that, but you can't do that with videos. I don't know. I've never tried it with horizontal because I know the shorts algorithm is better when it comes to live streaming. So I don't know. I never tried it. I could probably give it a test one of these days just for the hell of it. Maybe like 10 minutes, just kind of fuck around with it or something, just see if, what it does. Thing is, like, the only difference is just algorithm shit. Because I could easily just do the same thing horizontally instead of vertical, but don't blame me, blame the algorithm. Oh shit. It's a 20% battery. I was like, oh well no. Plug your ass back in. There we go. Blame you. Hey. Eventually, we'll try to Streamlab shit. Honestly, I have a feeling that it probably will be still a little weird, quirky, but it should still be able to work out. Just haven't gotten a chance to try it yet. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna try it this week. Speaking of, there's like another show that's actually free. That my friend Tyler mentioned and is supporting like a local band called Hog that's gonna be playing with a few other bands. Because unfortunately, in the initial show that I was gonna go to canceled sadly, but at least because the venue couldn't host them and they couldn't get a venue last second, so that one sucks. But At least there's another one. So depending on honestly how the service quality is, I might just say fucking stream that maybe for New Year's Eve. If not, at least have a video or two for that. Kind of get back into uploading some concert vids and stuff. It's been 5 minutes since I've like been kind of getting that groove. Though that ain't a groove that I need to be falling into yet. I just seize an opportunity when it just happens to just be a thing. Yeah, which actually this is better anyway because the other show I was gonna go to is a $20 entry fee. So this was for it being free. This is actually better. It's definitely way better. So come on. I'm wondering if I really need to give him a kayak trip. They're both kind of knocked out. Oh, Jesse has risen. Oh, Vito did too. Oh shit. I spoke way too soon. I spoke way too soon. I said something and now they're both awake and active. Yeah, what's up, little chunk? Little chunk chunk. Little chunk chunk. Up up. Up up. Jazzy. Jazzy up. Chunk chunk. Jazzy. Up. Up. Up here. Chunk chunk. Oh my god. Chunk chunk. Up here. Jazzy up. Jazzy up. Chunk chunk. Oh my god. He just wanted to grab that little bone. The demon bone. Oh my lord. You goof. Oof. Jeez. You're putting all your weight on me. Ugh. Oof. Goofy little thing. You goofy little girl. Yeah. You swallow ball. Eat your cute. Goodness so gracious. Look at that goofy boy. You huffing and puffing over there? You big poof smoosh. Big old poof. Big old chest team. She just blends in with the speaker a little bit. Oh, little goof. Little swaddle ball. I'm definitely digging this little tripod. It's definitely a good pop-up investment because he was the one who gave me the gift card for this damn thing. Yeah. What's up, boy? What's the door? I know what you want. Well, let's done with this. You've been a good, patient boy. We could at least call it good after this little bowl and last little drink of Rupu off of that. Fucking little fur. You shed beans. It's winter. You shouldn't be shedding. Oh, you look so disgruntled, Vito. Why not? I gave you the attention you want or something. Oh, well. Goofy boy. Almost blew in their face. Didn't want to do that. But anywho, I think I at least called good for the rest of the evening. On that little shizzles. Probably be back around Tuesday or some shit. Who knows? Have a little day or two to deal some business and all that shit. But either peace out and see y'all around for the next one and all that cool shit. So, toodaloo.